Hey, everybody, hope and pray that you're doing well. Today, as we come to our word from the word, and today that word is anger. Anger. Have you ever prayed in anger? I mean, not just, maybe angry at the situation. Maybe even times you've prayed and you've been angry at God. I mean, we've seen that even as Moses has prayed before, as we're continuing in Numbers, he got upset. God, why did you do this? And God hears the people saying, God, why did you bring us here? Why couldn't you have killed us some other time? It's amazing that even in anger, if we don't have control of it, is can become sinful. Now, anger in and of itself is an emotion, and so in and of itself, it is not wrong, but its basis can be wrong. Its actions can be wrong. The Bible tells us to be angry and sin not. I mean, Jesus was angry. He's angry at sin. God is angry at sin, angry at his people who sin and are disobedient. Over and over, how long am I going to be with this generation that doesn't listen? And how long am I going to be patient with you and deal with you? We hear this story over and over through Israel's history. And to be honest, how often would we hear that same story if he was talking about your life or mine? How many times is Zach gonna not listen to what I told him? I mean, and so it's amazing that even as we think about anger, there is a righteous way to be angry and sin not. But here's something that I noticed here that he got. I kind of chuckled when I read it, not at the situation that's going on, but here in Moses says in Numbers chapter 16, verse 15, right? This is following up from yesterday that Korah and all the 250 people he's gotten against him, and yesterday we talked about Moses praying and saying God's going to reveal and set those apart who he wants to set apart. But then after they keep complaining and fussing about everything that Moses has done, and that, wait a minute, I thought you were going to bring us, to a land flowing full of milk and honey, and yet you're not. And you read through all this. Numbers chapter 16, verse 15, God's word says this: Then Moses was very angry and said to the Lord, Do not respect their offering. I have not taken one donkey from them, nor have I hurt one of them. And I'm just going to leave it at that right there for today. I pray that you'd read the whole passage, see what's going on. But I think here it's almost how how worried should you be if you have upset a man of God who now begins to pray against you? Now, I mean, I kind of chuckle as I think about that, but as I've heard it, and just people joking and say, "Look, I'm going to pray against you." But in all seriousness, right? All jokes aside, I wonder when's the last time that we were so upset by someone's sin that the anger that aroused inside of us turned us not to pray for something bad to happen to them, but prayed that anger fueled us and sent us into prayer. Yes, prayer that God would not accept the lies that they were telling, would not accept the lies that they're selling, right? That God would not accept the propaganda. And we know that God knows all things, and God sees all, and he knew Moses' heart. And so, yes, Moses didn't have to say anything because God already knew. But as with every prayer, God already knows. He tells us in the New Testament, God already knows, but he still wants us to come to him in prayer. That was the whole example there given in the New Testament of the Lord's example of prayer. He already knows, but he still wants to hear from us. And so in our anger, right? Even especially when it's righteous anger, right? It's easy to lash out, but man, the first thing we need to do when people have driven us to righteous anger is, man, we need to pray. We need to pray for the situation. We need to pray for them. We need to pray for ourselves. We need to pray that God would help us to see what his will is in the situation. And yes, even if it is essentially praying against them, right, against the enemy, praying that God would show himself powerful, show himself strong, and show himself faithful as he does so often. But the one thing that anger should never do is drive us to sin. Anger should always drive us to prayer. And that's how we can be angry and sin not. God bless you. And I pray you have a great, great day.